I love anti-endings.
Yeah.
Like, I think that's probably why I like horror so much, because they never really mind. Like, have you seen The Collective?
No.
It's pretty good. It's got this guy like traps some fuckers in like whatever in like a house.
Yeah.
Like the original one, like he's like robbing this house, and like while he's robbing this house, like he just gets locked in, and he just thinks like it's just like this security system or whatever. But instead, cheers. Instead, he just like he's just getting fucked with by this guy. But like the house is fully locked up, like all of these contraptions, all of the shit that's going on, and so it's just like this big sort of suspense.
So it's like Home Alone, but like spicy.
Yeah, it's Home Alone, but they're yeah.
There's been like
kind of like the opposite.
Yeah. First responders were less impressed. I got to the house and they're like, "Yeah, this is." Listen, Craig. Look, I know it's been hard since you left, but buddy, you got to find a different way. You got to find a different outlet. You can't be fucking stringing people up like this.
No, this isn't okay. No. This is far from it, Craig.
Look, it's been tough, ever since she took the kids. It's just, it's what it is. I just like to string people up. I don't know what the fuck,
It's an American.
Yeah. Fucking that. I don't know. That's just the only reason I can imagine someone having. So legitimately, just turning their house into a litany of man traps. Look, that's what it is. That's it. That's all. Like if I was in court, that would be my defense.
Do you think most of these guys are like American, or is it just like the coverage is only American?
Just the coverage, man. America's greatest export is culture. So like naturally you hear about all the stuff, that goes wrong, that goes good, that goes great, I'm sure there's some guy in France right now that's just beating up someone's dad in an attic.
Yeah.
But like you're not gonna hear about that because no one gives a fuck. No one's gonna go on to, there's no French New York Times.
Yeah.
No one's gonna go onto the French newspaper and be like, so good.
The market's small. The market is small, so
bon de la terre croissant. So he strung up a woman in his fucking basement.
Yeah.
Cafe à la chocolate.
There's
no one gives a fuck.
Yeah. Everyone's equal per capita for fucking crazy lunatics. There's just as many in New Zealand.
Yeah, I would argue that
who's got the most? Polish?
Probably I think anywhere in Eastern Europe.
Yeah.
Eastern bloc of Europe, and you probably got a couple more people that have got a screw loose than
per town,
per capita, than anywhere else.
Because is it the isolation? Is it the fact that is it the isolation, but also like their demeanor? It's just
listen, God,
it is odd.
God loves everybody. I think sometimes He just loves certain people more than others. Because look, I don't know.
I watched this great. I was watching 8 out of 10 Cats. No, it was What I Lie to You, and it was this German bloke was on.
Sounds a good
song. I don't know that song actually. I know the TV show. I'm sorry, yeah. What I lie to you, baby. What I lie to you. Oh, no, it's ring bells now.
Yeah. Oh, bells. We put it on there.
Alarm bells.
You know what? That's run up. What were you saying? Were you watching Edit? Wait, What I Lie to You? And then
I was watching What I Lie. There's this German bloke on. He was talking about how he took this. He sent his buddy this postcard saying, nice to see you and whatever. I'm going to the Foreign Legion, and I'll never see you again.
Wow.
Just as a prank.
Yeah.
And then his buddy forwarded it to his mother. And everyone in the panel, they were just like, Jesus, like you sent it to his mother, and like it was his mother that got sent to. Right. And he's just like, yeah, German sense of humor. It was completely fine.
Dude, that's fucking funny. Yeah, I mean, the French Foreign Legion. That's some shit. I mean, if you want to join, that's crazy.
You know, my father almost joined.
Really?
Yeah, he was just his delinquent days, I guess, but he still had like a career and things like that. So he still sort of held together. He was like he was traveling somewhere, and him and his buddy, like there was like one of those like little sort of careers days thing. But like back in the day, where like it was like, you know, actually it wasn't at school, it was just like actual careers, and like they were hiring for the French Foreign Legion and, you know, the military and things like that. I don't know what you call those, like a jobs convention or something.
Yeah, for like one of the most deadly vocations on the planet.
Yeah, that's right.
They're like, hey, you want to be a plumber to me? Hey, fuck that.
Yeah.
You want to shoot some people that I mean, we don't even know who you're going to shoot. Listen, this fucking unit does one thing and one thing only. We fucking kill it. Doesn't matter what it is. Women, children, goats, shit. They could send us into the middle of Nairobi. We'll be cutting cactuses all fucking day.
100 scalps.
What you want? Yeah.
100 scalps.
Yeah. Listen, if you don't get those 100 scalps, John, I will personally fuck you in the mouth. And you're like, yeah, this is meant to be like a job. I'm 13, bro. You can't say shit like that.
Yeah. It's before parent teacher interviews.
Yeah, right. Yeah, back when parents and teachers would be like,
they were like buddies. And the way that they sort of disciplined was like on par with each other. You go to school, you get your ass whipped. You go home, you get your ass whipped. Like, there's no escape.
Yeah. I saw this fascinating doco on the French Foreign Legion and what they have to go through. And because they'll take fucking anybody, bro.
Yeah, that's right.
Half of them don't even speak French.
A lot of them are like convicts, just looking for a second chance.
They'll give you like a whole new name, a whole new identity, birth certificate, fucking everything, you know? Like you'll go there, Hong Lee, you know, convicted murderer from Japan. You don't even fucking speak French.
I think Coney's there.
Yeah, they're just, yeah. They just beat it into you and they're like, yeah. But
what if they take pedophiles?
Maybe, if I don't know, tell them. Not that they would tell you.
Yeah.
I don't.
I'll ask them.
Can you imagine, like, hey, you guys take pedophiles? Must be for a friend.
What? They're like, what? That's
yeah, that's the line. They're like, yes, but you will be at front line. You know, like you'll be like the cannon fodder, like. No, but there was an American guy who, some general or something. He did something. Basically, there was a French Foreign Legion unit basically that was fucked, or they were about to be super fucked, and then he sent like a chopper or something. He flew it to them and picked them up basically and saved them. And he was some, you know, general or something like that. You know, it's stars on his chest or something. And basically, like, he got commended by the United States Army, and he got, you know, promoted and everything. But the French Army gave him like one of their highest honors.
Oh.
And he said, and they had an interview.
That for some reason.
Yeah. The French were like, what the fact? Yeah. No, but the French gave him one of their highest honors. And one of the like top tier generals of the French Foreign Legion specifically, he said, I was standing there, the guy shook my hand, he gave me a business card, and all I had was a number on it. He said, if you're ever in trouble, call this number, give us coordinates where you are, and we'll come immediately. And he was just like, what the fuck? Like, just the realization that like these guys will literally like invade like a foreign sovereign nation just to come and get you. It's like,
you don't
insane.
like the Turks, maybe?
Yeah.
Us neither.
Dude, that guy,
that doesn't matter.
Bro, that guy could literally be in like Turkmenistan just on a holiday and fucking roll his ankle and call the French Foreign Legion and be like, lads.
They ever charged me, they charged me twice for my drinks.
Yeah, and I like a unit of some of the most tactile and well-trained killers on the planet will rock up playing whatever French equivalent of Fortunate Son.
They're like, why? They're like, hey, you gave him the card? Fuck.
Yeah.
This guy's been fucking us for years. You get 10 stamps.
Yeah.
It's a stamp.
Yeah. It's like, you see, we've done 10, you know, you're on your own this time. They're like, you know, it's like, guys, please, I got ripped off for pun and chocolate. And they're just like, okay, well, we got to go now.
Yeah.
You know?
He's only got two stamps left, fellas.
Yeah.
He's gonna run out quickly. He was 4 last week.
Yeah. Tried to get us a starter's mower. But you know how crazy is that? Yeah, like they hand them a business card. It said anywhere in the world, if you ever need help, if you ever need anything in the world, and no matter where you are, just call us, tell us your name and your coordinates, and we'll come.
Which doesn't feel safe that like that's public knowledge.
Yeah, yeah. But then again, you'd need the business card to call it.
Yeah, but just the fact that he has that card.
Yeah, true. Oh yeah, I mean, you'd be like, oh my god, you'd be walking down Main Street like, hey, fuck you, fuck you, fuck you, you know. Bro, imagine if like you're
just airdropping the article to everyone.
Yeah, because like, listen, you know, not all parts of the world are that great.
No.
And some places they do take advantage of corrupt systems. So you can imagine, I don't know, you're somewhere in India, you know, your passport's getting held up somewhere.
Yeah.
And you just make one call, and then all of a sudden the French Foreign Legion is literally staging an assault on like the French embassy in Calcutta somewhere. I don't
You
know.
would have to be a very good guy to have that power. Yeah. You'd have to be a very stable person.
Or save the French Foreign Legion from disaster.
Yeah.
Imagine that guy's a psycho.
How stable is that person? Really?
Yeah. Imagine that guy's a psycho and he's just like, yeah, listen, my ex-wife Stacy, she's a fucking bitch. Now listen, I got you some coordinates. I need you to fly a C-130 Hercules. I need you to get Pierre in there with an like a fucking AR-15.
But like, what's her name? Stacy? Ah, you have an ink card.
Yeah.
If you guys here know Stacy. That'd just be crazy.
Just be crazy.
So yeah, Dad almost really became that guy. But
Yeah, wow.
but he just, I don't know what happened, and fell through. And yeah.
Sure.
Yeah. French Foreign Legion, cool. What's the cool docker? Bear Grylls doing the training. He's a fucking tough nut, that guy.
Yeah.
Mr. Bear Grylls. You can just see like all the other people like sort of like the ways that they were breaking during this base training.
Right.
He did the base training.
Right.
Or part of it. And yeah, you just sort of see like all the sort of breaking and just the sort of the techniques that they would use to break it. And wasn't working on old Bear, Mr. Bear.
Yeah, no, the guy was a Green Beret apparently. So he's been legitimately tortured in training. You know,
Drinks piss as well.
drinks piss.
How
crazy is that? You were legitimately special forces. Did this incredible show. You climbed Mount Everest, broke your back in a parachuting accident, found yoga and healed.
Yep.
But everyone's like, it's that guy that drinks piss.
It's that piss guy. That's what you are.
Yeah.
That's what you're known for.
That's what you're known for.
It's like sort of being Al Pacino, and you're known for the Adam Sandler movie where Adam Sandler plays his sister and Adam Sandler as well. He plays both brother and sister.
Right.
And just like the whole movie is just one big ad.
Yeah.
For I don't know if you've seen it. It's a good thing you have. But Al Pacino plays like this, like
yeah.
He plays like this, like fucking. He plays at Dunkin' Donuts. He plays like they do like there's a full-on Dunkin' Donuts ad in the movie.
Yeah.
Full on.
Listen, you know, Adam Sandler probably ran out of money.
Yeah.
So did all Al
Pacino. That he's fucking loaded. Like he was in the same sort of group of friends as Norm Macdonald, but like and what's that blonde guy? David Spade. And David Spade's he's doing very well because he's sort of like he's a busy boy. But and then Norm's were just under him if you talked about like money wise. And this is saying, you know, Norm fucking went through like all his money gambling. But Adam Sandler was like, he would like buy them all cars and stuff, and like he was sort of like he'd reached the pinnacle of like, you know, he's a movie guy. Adam Sandler.
Imagine just like sitting.
Half retard, but yes.
Yeah. I mean,
is that full retard? Did he go full retard?
Yeah, no, dude, that's my favorite movie of all time.
Trouble with Thunder?
Oh,
same here, man.
Yeah, never go full retard.
That's a fucking
Sean Penn, I Am Sam, 2001. Remember that?
There's a movie you can't do anymore.
No.
Robert Downey Jr. Blackface.
Yeah. So funny.
Full on blackface.
Slow roll. No, it's a national treasure.
Didn't Tom Cruise, he played an Asian bloke,
yeah.
Like the hairy knuckle.
Yeah, the hairy knuckle guy. Yeah.
Pretty sure he was Asian.
Oh, okay. Dragon face. Fuck face. I need to take 2 steps back and literally fuck you in the face.
I need to watch that again. It's been a while.
This is a framing dragon.
Have you seen Balls of Fury?
Yeah, long time ago.
Who's that?
So Will Ferrell. My favorite movies are the
Will
ones with
Will Ferrell's okay. He's a good comedy actor, but he does play that very same sort of character.
Yeah, my favorite movies are the ones where Blades of Glory. Ah, dude, Blades of Glory is another one. Balls of Fury, I think, isn't that a dodgeball one? Or was that just called Dodgeball?
I think it's just called Dodgeball. My favorite thing about Blades of Glory is like, you know, the blonde hair fucking the protagonist.
Yeah.
The dual protagonist. Is a creepy fan.
I saw it a long time ago. Oh god, that's hard.
It is a bit, yeah.
Yeah.
I watched this video about wine taste.
Yeah, you told me. Yeah, you gotta let it breathe.
Well, no, that was just from like actual wine tasting. I watched this video like a couple of days ago. It was like there's 3 things in a wine. There's like the acidity. There's the acidity. There's the fruitiness, and then there's the tannins.
Tannins, right?
Yeah. So sorry, not fruitiness. The sweetness and the tannins. So the tannins is like how close to water it is, and how further away from water it is. The alkaline is like how the alkaline is like how fucking acidic it is. Yeah. And like the fruit, the sweetness part's just how sweet it is. Apparently, like how much sun and like the microclimates of like where it's from actually has like a big impact of like how that wine tastes.
That's funny. I can just imagine some sommelier. They walk in, they're like, "Hey Garrett, what do you think about the new crop of wine?" And he's fucking face down, he's sloshed. He's like,
"Fruity."
You what?
A bit acidic.
Not a lot of tannins. And he's just started like throwing up on himself. You know, it's Can you imagine the wine with the least tannins in the world? You just call up AA immediately. Yeah. You know what I mean? I just realized your chair is a little racist for left-handed people. I like how you panicked for a second. No, because there's a cup holder on the right-hand side.
I was so interested in like why it was going to be racist, but it's not racist at all. I guess it's
like left-hand racist. Yeah.
Left-hand.
No, but I just realized there's a cup holder on the right-hand side, but there's none on the left-hand side.
Welcome to the fucking world. Welcome to the world. It's not for you're a left-handed guy?
No, I'm right-handed.
Okay. Well, left-handed fucks out there.
Right-handed master race.
Just try again, you know? Try again. This world is not for you, you know, like just do the best you can, but we don't want to hear about it, you know? We don't want to hear about, you know, how discriminated you are against.
Yeah. It'll get to that point though. You know, they're like, oh my God, how can you have these chairs? It's like uninclusive. Yeah,
unisex, uni-hand sex chairs.
Yeah. I just feel like there's so many opportunities to make money. You know, you could be like, listen, it's a unisex chair. You know? Like the back's missing. So if you're a little thick, you can sit on it.
Chairs in every size.
Yeah, if you're a midget, you can sit on it.
Right.
Your wife just leave you can sit on it. You got a gambling addiction, you can sit on it. And you're just like listing thing after thing after thing after thing. You know? Did you have a sex addiction from ages 14 to 36? Yeah. And now you've just conquered it by finding love and detoxing from porn? You can sit on that shit.
You're depressed. It'll reach the window.
Yeah. 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 Very easy to kick out from under you.
Very easy.
You know?
Yeah, okay.
Look,
well,
I just think
people, they can suck a fat one. It's just it hasn't got to that point yet.
Can't say I disagree.
Yeah.
I had a girlfriend once who was left-handed. And in truth,
unbearable.
Yeah, I know, right? And in truth, honestly, she was a lovely person, but you know, left-handed.
Yeah.
Isn't that crazy that at one point in history, if you were left-handed, they would kill you for being a witch? They're just like, hey, that bitch is writing her ABCs with their left hand. Like, it's just so arbitrary. Like, it doesn't make sense to me.
Apparently, there was like kind of they were all high during the like the witch trials, and it was just
I read something about that.
It was just a very short period of time.
Finally,
I've got the fucking facts because like it's just been like 5 episodes of me and sort of just like not just that you like sort of give facts, but like I've never got the backstory. Like,
Yeah.
I'm just like, oh shit, I'm learning lots. But yeah, apparently it was like a very short period of time in history, and it started off with sort of like just inequality bullshit, where it's just like a woman speaking out, or it's,
Left-handed chairs on.
left-handed bullshit.
Yeah.
But there was like this this root or something that it got into all of like the grains that they were eating, and they were all fucking off their nut. They were all hallucinating, and so like part of the some of the side effects as well as of like ingesting this stuff would be like convulsions and muscle spasms. And so like all of these women were coming out and being like, yeah, I'm fucking like I'm getting these muscle spasms and shit, and like these convulsions, and they're all just like they're just throwing them into the wood pile. So like Jesus, like this lines up.
Yeah, right. So it's like hallucinating.
They're hallucinating, and like, along with some of the side effects as well, with just like convulsions and muscle spasms.
The wheat, right?
Yeah, like this plant that was sort of it would get into the wheat and the grain. They would eat that shit up, and like fellas also getting burnt at the stake because they're experiencing the similar symptoms.
That's hot.
So,
That's hot.
yeah. Convulsing while you're like, that'd be cool.
You don't?
Ooh. Maybe, yeah.
Just have like a full on like. I remember doing the Crucible and like in high school, and there was a guy called Giles Corey, who
Giles. Cool, man.
I mean, yeah, you know.
Giles.
But yeah. So they were going to stone him to death, and they laid like a board across him and just started piling on rocks to try to get him to confess.
Right.
And but the interesting thing is, he had a farm, right? And
sounds like a statutory joke.
Yeah. And Giles Corey had a farm, and the state wanted it. But if he confessed to being a witch, then the state would get his farm. But if he doesn't confess, then he's not guilty, because they had no real evidence. And if he didn't confess, then the farm would be inherited by his daughters. And apparently the last thing he said was that when they were like, they kept piling on more rocks, they were like, hey, do you confess to being a witch? And the last thing he said apparently was just more weight, as they would just pile on one more. And then I found out that guy was a real guy, and that actually happened.
I think I read that back before.
Yeah. Just in today's day and age, like you really kind of do understand the genius of Arthur Miller when you understand that, like,
I don't know who he is.
Just how the guy who wrote the Crucible.
Okay.
About Salem and everything. Right. And just because like back in the 50s, like the Red Scare. So the Red Scare was like a period of time post World War II. It's really interesting. Like if you look at like movie history and like entertainment through the ages, you can really tell like each genre kind of tells like a different aspect of society. And horror movies will often tell you what a society is scared of. Like post World War II in the 50s, it's all like about invasion movies, right? Alien invasion and this and that, Day of the Triffids and all that kind of shit. Because like they just come out of World War II. So they're like, oh shit, what if like there's another war and this time we can't fight them off? Because America saved the world like twice. They're like back-to-back World War champs. Like it was American manufacturing that just, because there was a statistic that they said that like, I think Germany was pumping out a plane a month doing that old world shit. And then American manufacturing, just that production line, every hour there'd be a brand new like plane coming out ready to fight, somewhere in fucking Kentucky.
Fucking America.
Yeah, USA. Yeah, dude. One of the funniest things about that is that you can always find an American, no matter where you are in the world. You just start chanting like USA, USA, and it's just like an instinct. They just can't help it. So
maybe you just like guys like us who are like non-American.
Yeah, right.
We just
yeah, like American at heart. Yeah, the chant goes up and everyone's just like, USA.
That could be something that we can employ into a background. So that's the
an American flag.
An American flag.
I want that.
Because I love America.
I love America so much.
They're cool.
I've always been an American at heart.
Yeah, I think I might have as well. Like when I grew up in England, I think I was just always a bit more optimistic than most of my British counterparts. We're very down, sad, pessimistic,
Yeah.
glass half empty sort of person. And then New Zealand, don't like.
It's like it's just not even like there's not even a glass. They're just like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
Oh, the weather kind of sucks.
Yeah, I guess I'm not going outside today.
One of the interesting things that I always reckon like made America so great and like want a superpower in like only a few hundred years is the fact that American is something that you can become. Like if you went to anywhere in Europe, Germany or France or wherever, or Spain, you could spend 10 years there. You could marry a German girl, you could have your kids, they could be German, your kids would be German, your wife would be German. You're not German.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like
it's the same in New Zealand, dude. Like,
yeah.
I've spoken to like a few guys in hospital. I think they make it quite hard. I don't know if we've spoken about this yet, but like you get a certain amount of points, a point system.
Right.
So if you move out of Auckland, instantly you get all these points because everyone wants to live in Auckland.
Yeah.
So it's a highly populated area, and so like sending you out gives you all these points for just moving out of Auckland, and then the type of job you have, you start earning like a certain amount of points, depending on like what tier you are from there. Like so, this guy that I met, Indian fella, he had to be earning a certain amount of money at a certain position to even start like clicking over these points.
Right.
Otherwise, he would just like a lot of these people like can remain non-citizens forever. Like you said,
right. Yeah.
Well, Kiwi Land's the same. Not as embracing as people think. Well, Kiwi Land.
Kiwi Land. Oh yeah.
New Zealand. Not as embracing as what everyone sort of makes sense.
I reckon that's one of the reasons that America always kind of wins at everything, because you got so many people from so many different cultures that like you can try like a million different approaches at once. You know what I mean? Like you ever seen America? Like America just fucking dominates at the Olympics because you see like the swimming, like women's 200-meter freestyle.
Yeah.
And you got some woman goes up there with like these fucking thick legs and these fucking like world beater arms, and she just fucking powers through.
Who's that dude who's the swimmer? Phelps?
Mike Phelps.
Fucking like web feet, dude.
Yeah, 12 lung capacity. Guy was a fucking
The guy was made for swimming.
Yeah. And then you see like on the track and field team, it's like no matter like all these different ethnicities, black people, Chinese, Icelandic,
black people,
black people, yeah. But all these different people, all these different ethnicities, just all like they're all American, and you just fucking Olympics come along, they just fucking steamroll everywhere. There's an old Daniel Tosh joke where he's just like, China's trying to have a state-sponsored program to get more Olympic medals. He's like, yeah, if they want to win, they better get a Harlem in China.
They've got like the world champions of baseball, or something like that, or like the world championships of like American football. And like it's like only held in America.
yeah. Yeah, it's only American
World Series.
Yeah. The World Series. Fucking Uruguay has never been a part of the World Series.
They don't even play the sport. Yeah.
No, but that's that's the interesting thing. But yeah, no, like if you look at like the genres of like movies and entertainment and stuff, you'll often find that like what's kind of been going on like in the society kind of finds its way into that. Like if you look at like in the mid-90s, all the horror movies, all the like the action movies were about like nuclear annihilation, like Terminator, Terminator 2,
very post-apocalyptic.
Terminator 3,
apocalyptic.
Terminator 4, apocalyptic based. Y2K.
Yeah.
Right. Terminator 5. Independence Day.
A non-spammer.
Yeah. Terminator 7, Independence Day. But basically what the Red Scare was like there was a period after World War II where basically
Red Scare. That's actually quite. I understand what it is now. It's a Soviet thing.
Yeah, it's a Soviet thing.
Right.
Because after World War II, basically,
I thought it was
the war.
American for a second.
Yeah, I mean, like the war never really ended until like the 70s. It just went to a different abstraction. So like the war with Germany was over, but it basically became like a war of ideologies. And like Operation Paperclip was when the American government went in and like anyone who was useful, any German scientists, doctors, medical people, like they would just scrounge them all up.
I didn't know what that was actually called, but I think everyone's kind of aware of that to a certain degree. If like you're not just a complete researcher.
Yeah, there's an old joke from like the 70s or 80s. Like if you walk into Nazareth, you said Heil Hitler. half the people would like raise their hand because like so many people. And
the work I'm working on at the moment is like almost based around that. Like the vaccine is a German creation.
Yeah.
And it's like a company in America. Pfizer.
Yeah. At this point in history, I think it's probably like less to do like Nazi Germany. But there's the interesting thing, like Russia. Russia and America were like scrounging for the people because Germany was so far fucking ahead of like everyone else technologically. They had the first jet plane that would have fucking turned the tide of the war, but they developed. It was way too late in the war for it to really help.
They were making fucking bloody flamethrowers and bicycle
flamethrowers,
and bicycle pilots.
Yeah,
bicycle factories. Bicycle shops.
Shit was just like crazy, dude. But the thing was that, and interesting, not to go too conspiracy, but like Alex Jones, he was talking about how like he said this one interesting thing where like the Russians.
He's got lots of interesting things to say.
He's got a lot of interesting things to say. I really like that guy. He's really likable.
He's got a lot of shit.
Yeah.
He's a very likable person. A lot of the stuff he says not untrue.
I don't agree with everything he says, but a lot of it, he's been right about a lot of shit.
Yeah. It's like a 40-60 split at best.
Yeah. But
he gets carried away.
But I like that about him. You know, I like a guy that just fucking.
Have you seen him on Roman, dude?
I have.
He smokes a bit of weed and he fucking loses the plot.
Yeah.
He's fantastic.
I really like that about him.
Yeah, no, he's good. He's passionate. He's got a big old brain. He used to have a photogenic memory, but he just got. I think maybe he lost his mind a bit, like genuinely. Like I don't know if you would call it like paranoid schizophrenia. I think he just had like he's got a bit of psychosis.
Right.
Maybe that is on aligned with like maybe autism, or maybe that's just like his own personal way of thinking.
Could be.
But I'm not sure which one of those. But it's one of those three.
Could be. But one of the things he said on like a podcast was that like the Germans and the Russians and the Americans got the same plans for a space shuttle. Because and here's a weird thing about Germany in the middle of the war too. Germany sent like troops of soldiers down because they believed in like hollow earth theory, right? That there was like aliens that basically live not in the center of the earth, but they live underground, and that aliens that gave the Aztecs and shit all this technology and blah 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 blah.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Even though it's actually not that hard to like break stone and stuff.
Pyramids.
Yeah, whatever. So all that like how did Machu Picchu is going to be stones? It's so tightly packed. Blah, 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 blah.
2 tons, fucking this high. How to work?
Yeah, exactly. A quarry 40 miles away, all that shit. But the interesting thing is that like. Apparently they were sending these people down and people died and they're trying to get us, because they thought, hey, if we tunnel into the earth, we can find the aliens, they can help us win the war. But what happened was Russia and America got the same plans because they were planning to go to space as well.
Right.
And he said that Russia's space shuttle was actual size. The Americans made it twice as big because of course they did. But that's,
I think Obama was elected this time.
Yeah, and so it said like that's why the Russian craft looks so much similar, but it was so much smaller. The Americans just decided like, hey, we're just gonna make it like twice as big. Holy shit! Okay, I was saying this to a girl friend of mine like a little while ago, and like she was like, listen, she was like, we're sitting there, we're watching a movie, like, it's whatever. And
you're like,
dude, I had like a full download on her about this. Okay. And she was just like, cool. She was genuinely just, I really, really like that girl. But she was like, okay, so there's Soviet astronauts, right? Yeah. There's a guy called Yuri Gagarin.
Okay.
And then there's his other friend, let's call him Poplovich.
Fantastic.
Yuri Gagarin.
Pretty close.
Knows that so he dies in a fucking tragic accident, right? Basically what happens is there's a ship that's going to go out and his best friend is his backup pilot.
That's cute.
So he knows that the ship is going to fail and fucking eat shit. But he knows if he pulls out, then his best friend's going to have to go. So he decides to go.
That's beautiful, man.
He decides to have an open casket funeral. He writes it in as well.
Why is there no movie for that? Because he's
Russian.
American.
Because Russian.
Yeah, because Russian. It's just like a sort of natural sacrifice to make. But like, it's just like a pastime with America. It would be like, wow, this is like a beautiful thing.
Yeah.
And like we would be able to appreciate it. Well, the Russians are like, yeah, if I can do it, my buddy.
Yeah.
And that's just it. No.
The weird thing is, he knows this ship's gonna eat shit. goes up before he dies, because he knows he's going to fucking die on this trip. He tells his wife, I want an open casket funeral.
That's tough.
Writes it into his thing, his will, everything like that. It has to be open casket. He's an astronaut. It's going to be a state funeral.
He's cocking.
He's fucking cocking it, bro. Goes up there, shit fails. And you can actually look up the audio of this as well.
Oh,
because the audio was
Jamie.
Jamie, pull it up. But the audio of the actual flight you can find online. And it's fucking heartbreaking. He's getting up there and the shit's failing and it's starting to fall back to earth and shit. This guy gets fucking burnt alive because on re-entry, right? Like all of the pressure, basically, the way it works is basically you have to like force your way back into the atmosphere, right? Mm. And so like everything, so you know, shit gets really hot. You know, in space movies, like
it gets hot, yeah.
Yeah, it gets all bright red and shit. Like well, it's because you're on fire.
You are.
But he gets up there, whatever. There's a photo that you can find online of Yuri Gagarin's state open casket funeral. And it is like this fucking charred skull with like some spinal cord, and it's maybe this much of him, and like charred torso, and it's like a fucking moon rock, bro.
I guess that's like his way of saying like, fucking me, motherfuckers. Me. Yeah. Like this is what I did, you know. I knew what was going to happen.
Yeah.
That was his movie. That was his American sort of tribute.
Yeah, but that was his fuck you to them as well, because the photo is not just of him in his casket, whatever's left of it. Mm. The Soviet like upper crust, right? The Soviet people that made that decision are looking at him, and they just look fucking dismayed. They're like, "Holy shit!" But Yuri Gagarin,
tough for his wife though.
Tough for his wife.
Tough for the kids.
Tough for the kids. Yeah.
Because you know they're there. Yeah.
There is a.
Every time I look away, but they look.
Yeah, they look. They're like. Oh. There's a guy who's got this condition where he just comes like every 60 seconds, and everyone was just like, yeah, like, wouldn't you want that? And the guys go, no, like it sucks. Like, you imagine being at your father's funeral, looking over the casket, and you just.
You have to do a speech.
No, but it was an actual documentary on TLC.
Oh, TLC! Like, thank God for TLC.
Yeah. And it's like, I was at my father's funeral, and I was looking over the casket. And I came in my pants.
Oh man.
How do you not get that out of your head? Like fucking every time he comes, you're just gonna see his dead dad just. I feel so bad for the guy because he looks so fucking depressed and so fucking sad, and he's just like
his eyebrows raised.
Yeah, but if it's just like every time someone finds out about my condition, they think it's gonna be a good thing. But can you imagine being at your father's funeral?
It's funny, man. You know, there would have been a conversation beforehand. They're like, you know, Paul, like, and the whole time he's fucking ejaculating while like the conversation's going on, and they're a bit disgusted by that. They're like, all right, Paul, you know, surely now,
yeah,
you know, this is you're gonna have to do a speech. You're gonna have to, you know, there's gonna be a presentation. You're gonna be holding. He's gonna be holding his dad. He's gonna walk his dad.
Yeah, the Paul Bearers is walking. He's like,
as he comes on the way there. They're like, can we shorten the walk?
Yeah.
Nice short walk.
Yeah, we're gonna have to put the casket down every 60 seconds. You know.
Yeah, I go bigger than these.
The average person walks about 5 kilometers an hour. It's a 10-second walk. That's 10 seconds too many. We're gonna make it 5 seconds. No, but I saw this fucking photo of Yuri Gagarin, right? And he's standing by a car called the Mantra Jet, spelled DJET, right? And it's a fucking cool looking car.
DJET,
yeah, DJET.
Cool, yeah, coolest DJ now.
And he's fucking standing next to it. And I thought, fuck, that's a cool car. And it's very like 60s, 70s, you know, but that's not an era of styling, right? Like, kind of looks more like a Lamborghini Miura and like a Corvette had a baby. But except for the back, because the back looked like shit. I don't know what the fuck they did with the back of that fucking thing.
Looked like a 911.
Because Corvette's got hips.
Yeah.
You know, and the back, you know, and C3, you know, the big, and I don't know, the C3 came out in 1970, so it was a little bit, the Miura came out a little bit, but listen, you know, look, the back, you know, it's got to look good walking away. And so
that's right. You know what you want, really.
Right?
You want someone to shake.
It's what it is. And so I'm looking at this Marcher jet, and I suddenly see photos of this car next to other shit, and I suddenly realize this thing looks minuscule, like it's the size of an MX-5. And I was like, "What the fuck is this?" Miata, if you're American. And I was like, "What the fuck? This is crazy, dude." I see photos of this car next to like actual cars, and the thing's fucking tiny. It's a matchbox. I look up Yuri Gagarin's height. He was like
a Russian man.
Russian guy. He was 5'3".
Oh my goodness.
He was
that's
5'3". I'm 5'10".
That reminds me of the cast of Peaky Blinders.
Yeah.
Check out the heights of all those guys.
No.
You know Charlie, the tall fucker,
Yeah.
tallest brother. You know the idiot that everyone hates.
Yeah.
He's fucking 5'8".
Really?
I think he's 5'10", dude.
Wrong.
Like, not that you're short, he's short, but he looks fucking tall in that thing. You're like, this guy's
He looks tall as fuck. Yeah.
he looks tall as fuck. The protagonist, he's like 5'6", I think 5'5".
Really?
He's like, he's shorter than me, bro.
Cillian Murphy.
And I'm a tiny little matchbox myself.
No, I mean, like, you're not short, but like,
I take the piss.
Yeah. But no, dude, that's crazy. Yeah, like,
But
yeah, I'm like what, 5'10".
I lean into
A
it.
couple inches up at 6 feet.
Yeah.
So like, what's an inch? Like 2.2 centimeters. This shit. 2 centimeters, 2 point something centimeters.
What's
Like
an
that.
inch-
Like
what's
that's
an
an
inch to
inch.
me? Yeah.
That's an inch. So if like what, that tall.
That's what I say when I'm in bed.
Yeah.
What's a few inches?
What's a few inches? She's like, a lot when it's in my ass. Bro, yeah. So Yuri Gagarin was 5'3".
It's a tiny little thing.
And interestingly enough, like when I was listening to that thing that Alex Jones was saying, like, yeah, no, the Russian craft was actually like actual size, and the Americans made it bigger. It made sense because, like, yeah, Yuri Gagarin was 5'3". I would dwarf him.
They were just being pragmatic.
Yeah, I'm not tall, I'm not short either, but I would fucking dwarf Yuri Gagarin.
Yeah.
And then it made sense, like, why the American craft was like fucking like twice as big, because it's like, yeah, can you imagine trying to fit a couple of fucking corn-fed fucking good old boys into this fucking tiny craft? Like, yeah, you need to make it. You know what? Let's look it up, because I looked at this.
They're easily 200 pounds.
Oh yeah,
185, 200 pounds.
What a name too. That guy was born to be an astronaut.
Yuri.
No, Neil Armstrong. Sorry.
Oh, Neil Armstrong.
Neil Armstrong was 5'11", so he's an inch taller than me.
Yeah. So not overly tall guy, but yeah.
So he was an inch off of 6 feet.
Mm.
Yuri Gagarin was 5'3". So Yuri Gagarin was like what? So he's 9 inches taller than you're. Okay, so
you know what would have been great if there was a space race, and but there was a meetup.
Yeah.
Like how you have meetups for like press conferences for fights. It would have been fantastic if there was like a press conference for the Yuri Armstrong
Yeah.
combatants. That would be fantastic.
Buzz Aldrin, height and feet.
Buzz Aldrin. Did you watch the Armstrong movie? The Armstrong movie, the one of many, but it was the one where Ryan Gosling plays.
Buzz Aldrin was 5'10". Sure.
I think they're all around that size.
Yeah.
But did you watch the one with the name of the movie? But it was like Ryan Gosling plays Neil Armstrong. Well, yeah, we haven't seen it. But it was quite a good interpretation of I had no point actually. I noticed that.
Yeah.
But yeah.
Yeah.
Like Ryan Gosling is short.
I like Ryan Gosling. Something about his face. He's just likable.
Yeah.
And
his face is massively asymmetrical as well.
What the fuck was I saying? Yeah, the Red Scare. So basically, like after World War II,
right?
During this, to basically make that's why the space race happened. Apparently, is because both Russia and America found these like plans to go to space.
With horror movies.
Yeah, and so horror movies basically is like, yo, we're gonna get fucking invaded again. But some are gonna lose. What happens if we face an enemy we can't beat?
We gonna get out. We need to get out.
Exactly. Aliens, better tech, blah, 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 blah.
We need at least 3.
Yeah.
We need a backup. We need 3 guys.
Yeah, but the war basically escalated to like an ideological level, like communism versus capitalism. Communism, by the way, has never worked, and every fucking retard will tell you like, oh, but it wasn't real communism. Yeah, it was, because communism always devolves into fucking, all the bullshit that it's always devolved into. Pol Pot, Joseph Stalin, all these different dictators that you can point at.
A massively underrated villain of humanity. Not underrated. I mean, like the people
like it's not talked about enough.
The people who know, but like he's not talked about nearly as enough as Hitler because the coverage.
But he killed like way more people, like magnitudes, like orders of magnitude.
He had a fantastic cut. Killed everything in comparison to Hitler. Like he was killing it. I think he's probably the number one. Oh, it has to be. Of course, he's number one. Of course, he's number one. Apart from the Bible.
Yeah, old pot. But yeah, no, basically during that period, like communism was basically vilified, as it probably should be, because again, like the thing that doesn't take into consideration is human nature, right? And every species on the planet, but every species on the planet lives in a hierarchy, right? But we live in a hierarchy that's based on competence, right? Like, because females are the ones that choose the males in our species, right? But so how do you pick who's the best male? Well, you just leave it up to them and they'll arrange themselves in a fucking order, right? Yeah. Because it's like, listen, a girl who's gone and got her law degree, she's a lawyer, she's got her act together, blah, 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 blah. It's like, man. Exactly. She might walk past a homeless guy on the street and she might give him $1. She's not going to let him sleep on her couch.
No.
She's not going to date that guy.
Yeah.
You could look like Brad Pitt. But if you live in your mom's basement, you never had a job, you can't hold down a job, you ain't got no education, you got no money, you're broke, you're 35, people might fuck that guy when his mom gives him pocket money, but like no one's gonna marry that guy.
I think on average it's probably similar though, right? Who do you think tips the scales? You've got a shit guy getting into a relationship with a girl who has prospects versus a fellow with prospects dating a piece of shit woman. But it depends what you put on the scale of what is a prospect, because with a lot of good-looking women who date basically gold digging whores,
but they don't marry those guys. But again, like those things though, like fame, a lot of money, all of those things are law.
Yeah, but who are the women that who end up, they're good-looking women, but like what are their prospects apart from the fact that they're good-looking? And they can sort of hold themselves in social settings. What are their prospects in comparison to the person they're dating? You've got your Bill Gates, you've got your Elon Musk, you've got all of these like very successful men, and they're dating retards, good-looking retards.
Yeah, good-looking retards.
There's a fucking time.
Yeah, I think that's different for us though, because it's like it's more of a, it depends.
What is a prospect? I feel like prospects are almost incomparable.
In terms of like a future though, like there's a set amount of things that people need to have. So even if you were really beautiful, like let's say you look like a Brad Pitt. I mean, you are a beautiful man yourself, you're a good-looking guy. But if let's say Brad Pitt never became an actor, he lived in his mom's basement. Yeah. No one's gonna marry that guy. You know what I mean? No one's going to have kids with that guy.
I'm with you.
Yeah, no, I mean, like, no one's going to have a future with that guy.
Yeah.
So, like, I forgot what the fuck I was saying.
You're also a very good looking man.
Thank you. Appreciate that. Right, yes, the red scales. Right, so basically, like, females are the ones that choose the males in our species, but capitalism is a really good way to do that, because what it does is it splits the hierarchy of competence. Hunter-gatherers, right? Only 2 fucking hierarchies. You either hunt real good, but you gather real good. But
we're rapping good.
Yeah. But okay, let's say you never get into the NBA, right? Let's say you're 5'3", let's say you're Yuri Gangren. You'll never ever get into the NBA. But you might be the greatest NBA commentator that the NBA has ever had. 100%. Or you might design the coolest uniforms the NBA has ever had. You could be a shoe designer for the NBA, for Nike.
You could be a goddamn water boy for that fucking
team. You could be the greatest fucking water boy the NBA has ever had. You could be the guy.
Adam Sandler style.
Adam fucking Sandler style.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, you could have the coolest podcast, the biggest podcast about the NBA. That's it.
You can design shoes.
Exactly. Or whatever. So it splits the hierarchies of competence up into all these different fucking things. But so capitalism is like a really good way to do that, because everyone has a place. Yeah. So it's like, okay, look, are you really obsessed with like, I don't know, let's say you're really obsessed with Art Deco, but Art Deco happened in the 1930s. Great Gatsby style.
Does that
Cool.
matter?
Yeah, does that
Definitely
matter?
not.
Dude, there's 7 billion people out on the planet. You start an Instagram page, design your Art Deco shit. You know, you could find a fucking audience.
Do you
For
like
it?
playing a very specific game on a specific console? There is a platform for you.
There's a platform for that.
Yeah.
There's people that'll pay to watch
Just be
you.
good.
Patreon, $5 a month, coming soon.
Just be the best. Coming fucking soon.
Yeah.
You better believe it. There's gonna be 2 episodes a week, and the second episode, you're not gonna be able to see it. You know why? Because you don't pay those moolah.
the moolahs.
You don't pay the moolah.
The moolah.
But that is
I'd love-
environment.
I'd love to know the etymology of the word moolah and how it came to symbolize money.
There's got to be a sort of a cow. There's got to be some sort of poultry.
It's got to be something. It's got to be something.
Cow is a poultry.
No, cow's definitely not poultry.
No, that's chicken.
It's chicken.
It's chicken.
Bird? Pheasant?
Pheasant. Oh, that's what poultry is.
Potentially.
A bird or deal.
I think it's a bird.
It's a bird.
If you ate pigeon, I think that counts as poultry. Holy shit and fuck! I went to a restaurant with a woman that I'm really quite fond of, actually. No, not quite, not pigeon. But we went to this 5-star restaurant. It was absolutely divine. This was sort of post sort of COVID era. She's absolutely
One of
gorgeous.
the times.
Yeah, she's absolutely gorgeous. You know, just sort of bookwormish. I'm very, very fond of the girl. But we went to this 5-star restaurant and it was fucking fantastic. And they had eel.
Eagle.
Eel.
Oh, eel.
Speaking of like just like, you know, animals you don't eat often,
No.
like pheasant. Like I've never eaten pheasant, I don't think.
Quite popular in England. In Britain.
Yeah, apparently it's illegal to kill pheasants here if you see one because they're endangered or whatever. But
We care about things like that.
yeah, but it's weird. So, you know, anyway, it's dude, the way they did it was like crumbed in this like black stuff. I don't know what it was. I don't know if it was like pepper or charcoal. Yeah, it was like a charcoal sort of crumb. Dude, oh, so fucking
Was
good.
it pate?
No, it was actually like a little fillet of eel.
Oh, okay.
You know, but you know how they do it. It's very ornate. And
Yeah.
like artwork.
It's a big fucking plate for a size 40,
And
you can just see
that's-
with it.
That's what it is, and I really like that. I just really love the artistry of it. I love artistry, refinement. I love like effort into things. But basically, yeah, just not an animal that we really. Huh?
No, yeah, not an animal that we usually. I mean, we call it a tongue fat.
Yeah,
Tongue fat, you probably know more about it. You've lived here for longer than that.
I mean, yeah, but you know, listen,
Tongue fat.
tiny fat. Isn't there like a demon or something that lives in the waterways?
Yeah. I used to. Well, I think it was just back in the day. Like babies would just get taken. I don't think they would get eaten by eels. I think a baby would drown, and the Māori were. I think the Māori were just very bored. They didn't know a lot going on, so they created all these myths. Like a lot of people do. I think that's where religion comes from. Boredom.
Maybe, bro. Fuck, I just had legit PTSD. So
I
second
know.
time I did Outward Bound.
Yeah.
Fuck. Okay, so
Give it to me.
towards the
Shit
end,
on my face.
we were it's like 2 girls, 1 cup, but it's just you. Like,
Just,
so we went down there. So okay, it's towards the end of Outward Bound. For some reason, so we got to do community service and shit, right? Because part of it is about giving back to the community. We have to build a fucking fence for some reason. So we got to dig the holes and the fence shit like that. But I shit you not, bro, where we had to do it was like we had to go down this little fucking thing. There was like a waterway. There was like an estuary. And over it was like a fucking like council built bridge, but it was like a fucking, you know, it was like maybe this wide.
she was thick.
Yeah, it was a fucking thick girl, you know, it was a fucking thick boy. But it was just a little bridge to cross this estuary. A really little bridge, you know, it was really like more like a little footpath thing.
That's petite.
It's what it is. But here's the thing about eels. Eels will migrate. There's somewhere in like the islands, like Samoa or like
They go to sea.
bro, they go out to sea every year to mate. It's like fucking salmon, you know, they always swim to one specific place.
Right.
They always swim back to the place they were born to mate, and then they fuck off back to wherever they came from.
It's not the opposite of salmon. Does salmon go like upstream? Well, no, it's not the opposite. You know,
Yeah.
it's what you were saying. You were saying they go somewhere, but like salmon go upstream. They're working hard.
Yeah.
Lazy ass fucking eels. They just fucking chill out, go
They're just chilling out in estuary.
Classic eels.
They had this one fucking eel that apparently has never left this fucking estuary. Here's the thing. There are some creatures on this planet that their size is not contingent on their age, it's contingent on nutrition. Eels will continue to fucking grow as long as they can eat shit. And I shit you not, there was a sign on this fucking little bridge that said there is an eel that lives under this bridge and it is 100 years old.
That is for one specific
100 years old. And he said, you know, if you toss some water, whatever, you know, toss some shit in the thing, you'll see him. I fucking shit you not, we fucking saw him. He came to hang out. Clearly loves people, knows when he hears the little thump, 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 thump,
There's gonna be food.
There's gonna be food.
Yeah.
Josh, I fucking shit you not. It was one of the biggest creatures I've ever fucking seen in my life.
Tell me about girth.
The fucking head of him was like this big.
My goodness.
Bro, his head was like this fucking big. It was fucking huge.
Our female listeners are getting excited.
Yeah. But anyone who's seen an eel knows that how big is an eel's head? That big?
Yeah, about that much.
What, like that big?
Yeah.
Yeah, like that big. Right? Eels are like this long, that thick.
Well, you know, like I've seen a few long.
Thought a few long boys.
But that thick though.
But bro, like his head was like this fucking thick, bro. Like this fucking. It was fucking huge.
That was a beast.
I shit you not. His fucking mouth was so huge, and you would like.
Well, like sort of the girth is almost equal to the mouth. So.
He was so fucking long. Yeah, he just snaked up, and he was fucking thick, bro. And his fucking thing, he snaked up this.
You know eels. You know eels are sort of where like there's eels over in China.
Yeah.
And in Asia.
Yeah.
And that's originally where sort of like the dragon sort of came.
Yeah.
Eels.
So I reckon like tiny fat, dude, that probably could have been a real thing. Imagine because like
could have been that same fucking one.
It could have been that same fucking guy. But bro, because it's true, you know, like
granddaddy.
Because isn't there like a thing in the Maori legends, you know, like they came over from Waikiki or something?
What, the Māori?
No.
We're talking historically, or we're talking
Hawaii.
like a
Hawaii. No, in the legend, you know, people came over from Hawaii and blah, blah, blah. Interestingly enough, Hawaii, which is apparently pronounced Hawaii, has the same legends about Maui stopping the sun and pulling shit up. And
interesting.
Same legends. Interesting.
Very good. That's
interesting. I once met a woman in Hamilton who was a little mentally ill, but she said that her ancestors told, she's a Maori woman. She said that her ancestors talked to her, and she said that they told her the story of how the Maori people got to New Zealand. And she said that it started out in Hawaii. She said that there was a genius who was born, who was spoken to by the gods, so to speak, to take the Maori people down to a promised land. But because someone had to do the fucking math. Someone had to know, okay, there's only so many people we can take. We need X amount of food. We need X amount of, you know, trees, whatever. We need X amount of boats, whatever. They get down to. This is how we get canceled. No, but someone had to do the math, did the math. They get down halfway to the islands, right? Guy dies. She said they had to wait 400 years for another genius to be born with the ambition.
That can do math?
Yeah, they could do math. But not just math, like logistics. Yeah. Like logistics to take them down to the promised land. And she said that she said apparently that's how the people populated the island, Samoa and all these other places.
Yeah,
and then someone was born who understood, like, okay, we need to take this further. And then that person did all the logistics, the math, everything like that, and then sailed them down to New Zealand.
You know what's funny?
What?
That like because like the sort of the interconnected.
Yeah.
But like the Māori from Japan.
Yeah, really? That's fucking funny. They met up with the Spanish somewhere as well.
Over there,
yeah, there's somewhere along the line they met up with the Spanish because Kumara is indigenous to Peru. So and
it couldn't just be Japanese blood, but it also could have been, you know, just like eating like all that like this goodness.
Yeah, wouldn't it be fucking funny though? Like the ancient Maori were just like, you know, like bowing and shit.
I'm pretty sure with genealogy though, like that we're Japanese.
But that's the story she told me. You know, so I don't know if that's true. She said her ancestors spoke to her and told her this.
Also a little bit mentally ill.
A little bit mentally ill. So, but she was a really nice woman. She didn't seem crazy, but like so.
They never did.
Yeah, they never did. But I said, look, you should write a book. And she said, yeah, everyone tells me I should write a book. And I'm like, no, but seriously, but look, if your ancestors are genuinely talking to you, because look, I won't rule anything out. Maybe her ancestors genuinely are talking to her and she genuinely has seen this voyage in dreams and shit like that. Then like, fuck it, dude, write it.
Yeah.
Interestingly enough, she didn't like a lot of Maori people. She was Maori herself.
Interesting.
But she called them mana.
She spoke to them.
Yeah, she called them mana munching. Mana munching Maoris.
Interesting.
Because where we live, we did not live in a good part of town. But she said that like a lot of the stuff that she saw these saw people do, a lot of people in her community, she said it kind of like ate the mana of her community, and people kind of looked down on them because a lot of the actions of people that were doing stuff in their community, like stealing and robbing, shit like that. She said, like we're less respected because of the shit that you guys are doing.
Yeah.
So her whole thing was like, we need to restore the mana and kind of bring people back to this kind of cultural sort of touchstone. And she felt like that, like she said her ancestors felt like her telling her this journey and publishing it and everything was kind of, because it's a story of bravery and trying to just going out into the open fucking ocean.
Yeah.
And one guy does the logistics for it and everything like that.
It's season 1 of Vikings, I've heard.
Yeah, it's like season 1 of Vikings. But yes, interesting story. I don't know if she ever published the book. I don't know if she ever went anywhere with it, but like that's what she told me. And so like super interesting story. But post World War II.
Yeah, no, she's cool. But do you think there's a counterbalance between like how hot a person is to how much you believe? Like not saying like she's not supposed to believe.
Yeah.
But do you think there's like there must be like how much you can put up with in comparison to how hot they were? Was she a good looking gal? She's obviously a smart person.
She was all right.
She's obviously smart and interesting.
Yeah.
Very interesting.
I would so I was living on the top floor. There was a 3-floor building and they had apartments everywhere. My apartment was on the top floor. My girlfriend at the time was on the 2nd floor. And so I would go out in the morning, have a cup of tea on my deck, and she lived next door to my girlfriend at the time's place. So I would be there and she'd be having a cigarette and a coffee and I'd be like, hey, yeah, I would have a yarn and stuff, but she was really lovely. She brought music and everything like that.
I tell you, I don't think my mom's crazy. She's a moldy lady, much like I'm a moldy man. But she swears. Yeah, I'm not sure, but she swears by the fact that she's had conversations with her father and her mother.
Right.
Post-human, and goes for.
Yeah. I reckon some people got it, man. I reckon some people just have whatever that is that just kind of lets them experience whatever it is.
Yeah.
I reckon some people have, because look, not everyone's Shaquille O'Neal,
man. I mean, I fucking want to believe it. I really want to, and I still have that faint childhood. Not saying that your sort of your sort of opinion is childlike, but I've still got that sort of, because it's not logical, right?
Yeah.
I've still got that sort of hope in my heart
that
something's just going to happen. But I guess like the fact that I hold back from that is going to keep me from it.
Yeah, no, that happens to a lot of people. Yeah.
Right.
My grandmother apparently has a sixth sense, and she sees dead people and shit like that. And she's told me a lot of stuff. She called me one time at like 3 a.m. to tell me a lot of stuff about my future and all that kind of stuff. And it was really interesting to like interesting. Interesting stuff.
Yeah.
And
you talk about it one day, perhaps.
But like a lot of the stuff that she says about like my future has been the same for like years.
Right.
She reads my tarot cards, blah 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 blah. But like a lot of stuff that she has said like has been the same, like years apart. There's been details that have been exactly the fucking same, which is crazy. And when I was really young, as a teenager in high school, I had a friend that was super into numerology, and she did mine one day, and she just randomly blurted out some of the details that my fucking grandmother had said. And I was a little bit freaked out. I was like, holy fuck. Because remember, like a lot of the shit that like my grandmother's like, now this person's saying with like numerology.
It was a little uncanny.
It was uncanny. Yeah. But yeah, I don't know, dude. So yeah, some shit just like, I don't know. I think some people just got it. Like Shaquille O'Neal, man, you can't teach that.
No.
You can hone it, but you can't teach athleticism. You can't teach, talent if you're a painter. You can teach people how to paint, and like I'd never discourage anyone from engaging in a creative activity.
Yeah.
But not everyone's going to be Pablo Picasso. Not everyone's going to be Rembrandt or Van Gogh.
And some people are just musically gifted. Like,
some people are.
And some people they can just pick up a fucking like they're just, I understand. Like I just understand the sort of like
they just get it.
and then they know basically all the instruments. I've got a good buddy of mine, Sam Sainsbury, love you, and he's musically gifted. He's also got a great voice as well to match.
Right.
But he can play the guitar, play the electric guitar, pianos, the whatever you fucking name it, he can play.
Yeah.
The drums. He's got great videos where he's just like
nice.
he's put them all together and he's just doing it well. And I'm in awe, but I'm equally annoyed. I'm like, man, it wasn't right. Obviously, you have to hone a skill, and like he has the ability to sort of, but he's got that base level, for everything, like at a musical level, and that's granted, man.
Yeah, so I think some people just see ghosts
with the sixth sense.
Yeah. To finish up on the Red Scare, because I know that a lot of people get fucking annoyed by this. Basically, what happened was that basically, because I know I always go off on tangents that ADHD or just, but so post World War II, the war basically went to an ideological level,
right?
And it's communism versus capitalism. Capitalism won and communism lost.
Yeah, because
of course it did. But Arthur Miller, the Red Scare essentially was communism. People were so scared of communism and communists because basically what it meant was it was a threat to the American way of life. And so in Hollywood, there was like a whole thing but it was basically The Crucible. If you take the plot of The Crucible and you just took witch and you just replaced it with communist, the same fucking thing happened. People were like, oh shit, I think Darren's a communist. Oh shit, I think Bella's a communist. Oh shit, blah, 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 blah. And so it was a witch hunt basically to round up all the communists, because communism was kind of seen as like a reason for the war, or if not a reason for the war, then a way for the war, another war to begin.
And it did. They had the Cold War, right?
Yeah, and that was the Cold War. Like so, but the genius of Arthur Miller was just how this had happened before in history, and to apply it for such an accurate allegory to what was happening in his time was just that, like the fucking genius of it. When you understand that, like the whole thing was Salem and the John Proctor, and how he's very much a vessel. John Proctor, I think, is very much a vessel for Arthur Miller himself.
Jordan Peterson and someone Weinstein. I think he might be a Weinstein brother.
Brett Weinstein.
Brett Weinstein. They speak about something similar. They talk about the way that the Germans, the Nazi Germans, were. I don't know if you've seen this on.
Yeah.
It's a Joe Rogan.
Yeah. I've seen that.
The way that the Germans were acting, just like their orderliness, and just like the way that it was like very scrupulous with like cleanliness and their order, and just the way that that human interaction was at the time is and how dangerous that really was, because they were talking about how the Nazis get labeled as crazy, and he said that's very dangerous. That's a very dangerous thing, because they weren't actually crazy. It was just the way they were acting was sort of it was just a very specific sort of human condition almost. Yeah, and how that was similar to sort of like some of the things that's happened quite recently.
Yeah. Well, that's an interesting thing, because like the Red Scare, it's interesting you mention that, because like the Crucible as well is like it's happening again. People that aren't woke enough, and the whole canceling thing. Canceling is the
inherent anger that is there. It's a real sort of offense.
The sheer animosity, like instead of burning people at the stake, we're just like canceling them now.
Yeah,
you know what I mean. So like it's interesting how like, and again like Arthur, and that's what the genius of Arthur Miller was, because like his allegory for it, even though he was in the 1950s, which was we're a world away from the 1950s, but the 1950s was a fucking world away from
it wasn't that long
Salem. It wasn't that many people. The United States started like what, 3 people ago? If you look at the human lifespan, exactly. That old Joe Rogan joke. But it's just crazy. So the fucking parallels between that story and even now is just crazy. So.
Yeah, it's a first. Like I feel like not to get into it too much, but it does feel like it's everywhere. There's obviously a lot of rage in America. It feels like there's been a lot of rage sort of burning at a low level in Britain for a long time.
Yeah.
They're an angry people. I feel like it's almost like a contained sort of fight.
Very polite people.
Yeah, very polite, but also very sort of like very judgmental, very quick to sort of jump on things. And like you've got your tabloids, you've got a certain way that they run their news outlets.
British tabloids are vicious.
Vicious, man, and like even the way they run their news outlets and the amount that they have, you sort of like there are outlets there to sort of be able to tap into negativity. And so like there's always that great form of negativity. I think with like the Kiwis, there's always sort of like this, they're above that, you know. They're above like negativity and everything's positive and everything's very inclusive. But when lockdown happened, everything was taken away.
Yeah.
And that fucking horse thing happened. You know, the Wellington Cup.
Yeah.
Genuinely,
Yeah.
how much people really jumped on that. You've got people throwing their like, you know, the toys completely out of the cup.
Can we hold that thought for 1 second? I just got to fist so bad.
Yeah, man, you go for it. Better do some talking. Yeah. Well, it's full blown AIDS here in Auckland. Everyone's sick of it. It's funny, we're about to go out of lockdown, sort of, into open everything up. But when we went into lockdown, we had 1 case. Now we're having 200 or so cases a day. And yeah, I guess like businesses are fucking shutting and shit. It's a strange thing. Yeah, Jacinda's made a few mistakes before, you know. She hired the mob to rehabilitate meth addicts. You know, someone tell her they like make and sell it. Doesn't seem to make sense to me. Yeah, seems like it's kind of like hiring like Alec Baldwin at a firearms safety convention, or like deadbeat dads at a daycare. Yeah, doesn't seem to make sense. But yeah, that's just how it's going. Yeah, it's strange. Like we had the first weekend when we went to like 3.2, just like because I kind of live in town. Like the streets are full. It was pissing down rain on Saturday, and it was still just like the streets were full. People want to shop. I mean, I get it, you know. People want to like get out. It's been a while. What was it? 10 weeks, 11 weeks. So yeah, I mean, I get it. People were bored and tired. They want to get back to where things are. Yeah, it's strange. Very strange. Feels like if we went back down to like level 4 lockdown, but like if we'd done this like maybe 4 or 5 weeks ago, if we just like let's go for 1 month, complete lockdown level 4, then and back to like sort of 0 cases, then things might have kind of been a bit different. But yeah, who am I? I'm just some dummy. I don't know how things really work. But yeah, I've got a few cases going. But times are scary, you know. I'm worried about, you know, grandmas out there. I guess we'll see how shit turns out. It's gonna be like a yellow Christmas, man. You know, especially if they open up the floodgates. Yeah, it's gonna be weird, boring chat for sure. COVID chat. But yeah, what else is going on? Yeah, I guess we started talking about like a horror movie, and then we started talking about like we went back into we reverted back into the history podcast. I hope this is funny, but you bet we're going to put it up, regardless of the fact. But yeah, give us a chance. You know, it's only episode 6. Hey, you're lucky we didn't put out. We had an episode which I've already told you, that the audio fucked out. And I think that was that. Even out of the first podcast, that was easily the worst. So count yourselves lucky there.
What it is.
I think I did quite well.
Thank you for well. What the fuck are we talking about? Yeah, you were telling me an awesome story.
A while back when? What were we talking about?
Yeah, the fucking people that went to the okay, so for people who weren't filled in, there was a couple that broke Auckland lockdown to fly down to Queenstown.
Oh yeah, we were talking about sort of the state of times and how like we're talking about how like Nazi Germans are similar to like the times of right now. But it is true, we feel, and some people feel.
Actually,
the outrage and that sort of that furnace people are burning. I feel like the way that because Kiwis sort of feel like they're above reactions and reactionary sort of based news, but two Aucklanders broke lockdown. They went to Wanaka, like any of us would have loved to have done.
Fucking I would have.
Yeah, fucking A. And everyone lost their minds. They're like, oh, these guys aren't Kiwis. They got named and shamed.
Yeah, dude, they got fucking dark.
They got named, man, which is that's big. That's big. They probably lost. They probably lost. A lot. Yeah, it's big defamation.
But the hatred that you would see spilling out about that is just so insane. Because I think
top tier.
Yeah. The amount, I think we love to hate. We're a country that is very, very good at one thing, which is sweeping everything under the rug.
Yeah.
Like we're very clean and green. Oh, we're a clean and green nation. We have the highest rate of endangered species per capita in the entire fucking world.
Yeah.
But we're clean and green, right? Because and part of it is because like our two biggest industries are dairy and tourism.
And we just get rid of all of our shit. We get rid of all of our milk, all our lamb.
Do you remember the time that Taika Waititi said New Zealand is a racist country? And then like on Facebook, there was all the comments were just telling him to shut up and calling him like a dumb Maori and stuff. Like, dude, I remember that. Like,
I don't, man. That doesn't sound like it was long ago.
It was a few years ago now.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was fucking crazy. Like people like genuinely were like.
Taika Waititi, the director.
Yeah, the director. Yeah. So yeah, we're a deeply racist country, and people were like.
I think we're a dumb country as well.
Yeah.
I feel like we're dumber than we are racist.
I think it's because we're just removed.
Yeah.
Because it's like being a country at the end of the world. It's like two islands way out at the end of the world. Nothing really happens.
We're like, hey, we get time first.
We're like
we got to see Monday first.
It always strikes me.
Yeah.
It always strikes me when like someone from like a really small town in New Zealand will come to the city and they're like, oh, this is it. This is the Big Smoke. And it's like, you have not fucking seen Big Smoke. Have you ever been to Los Angeles? You ever been to New York? Holy shit, that's a city. This is like a fucking town.
Right. I've lived in like outskirting towns of London.
Right.
And I have got more perspective than
that's the thing, perspective. Yeah. You gotta go places. You gotta leave your father's house, as it were.
You know what? That's honestly is a perfect sort of parallel. New Zealand is just like it's just an out of town city of the world.
Yeah,
it's got all this time to sit back and put their legs up and say, we don't really care about this. But really, I mean, it's sort of like a progressive, like sort of out of city town. You've got like, but they've got quite like progressive thoughts. But it's vanity, I feel. Yeah, it's all vain. Like I've had like lots of conversations with people that are almost backing. They back sort of like these freedom marches and rallies and things like that. And but that's sort of how they felt the whole time. But now that the pressure's finally been put on, like a little bit, like now things have got like a little bit realer, and things aren't as green and pastury. And we've been in lockdowns and things like that, and businesses are closing. Now those sort of true colors are coming out. Things aren't so laid back and easy breezy, and your feet up on the porch with a beer. Now it's finally the truth.
It's just getting a little real.
Yeah, now the truth is rising.
Yeah, that's what it is. That's a different thing.
Fuck 'em.
That feels like a positive place to leave it.